Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. I apologize. I know I'm a minute or two late. I just got to thinking and writing and lost track of time. So I take responsibility for that and just want to offer an apology. And so welcome to Success Life. My name is Eric Greid. I am your success coach. I am so glad you're taking time out of your day to jump in and join me. So good morning, Al. Good morning. Hope you are well. Good morning, Steve. Steve hasn't even jumped on yet, but he'll be here in a moment. Good morning, Miss Toomey. I hope you are well. Got a good lesson here, I think. I don't know. We'll see. It was something that has been occupying and rattling around my head for a little while, so I need to get it out so I can make room for something new. Good morning, Miss Jean. I hope you are well. Good morning, Di. Hope you are well. It was Buenos dias, Damien. So yesterday, and when I went back and looked at the feed and looked at the comments, we had everything from Japan to Argentina to I think somewhere in the UK as well as in Bangladesh. So, and then everybody in the US and the UK as well. So it's kind of fun. I feel like I should start wearing International Day clothes or something. So I can't forget Canada, our neighbors to the north, as we say in Minnesota. So good morning, everybody, and I hope you are doing well. Take a moment, say hello to each other, say hello, give a high five, make a happy face, do whatever you want. It's that kind of day. All right. Good morning, Mr. Matthew. Good to see you as well. So I had posted the preview question or the lead-in of what's your idol, or talking about idols. And I joke that I'm not talking about American Idol, but sometimes maybe that will fit in this case. So what do I mean by idol? And then how do we discuss it and not make it all about faith-based teaching? Because though I am a person of faith and I do have a deep center in that, I think what I want to explain it in a bigger, broader sense of our daily lives. So I hope you will, if you're a person of faith, transfer it into your faith. If you're a person who maybe doesn't share my same faith, understand that the lesson really talks about those things that we place into our vision above other things. All right, so good morning, Mr. Matthew. It's good to have you here. So first, when I talk about idol, what is an idol? And so often people will think of, the golden calf, or, some object external that we light incense to and bring fruits and, flowers and offer worship and we commit pilgrimages to and all of that. And that's what they consider being an idol worshiping. And, that's a historical biblical perspective and that's fine. But that's not the idling or idol worship that I'm talking about in the idols in our lives. So what is it that I'm sort of trying to hint around to is, and I had to bring some notes with me, when we talk about idol worship, and so often I hear this with people when they have a problem or a situation, that becomes the center, that everything that they do, and you can see by my hand, is blocked by that. That they start to talk about their problem, they talk about their history, they talk about their story, they talk about something that happened in the past. And everything that they're trying to accomplish has to go through this thing. They bring their dreams, they bring their hopes, they bring their desires, and it stops right there. Because they have turned their problem, their history, their situation, their current thing into their idol. They can't get their focus off of it. Every conversation you have with them is, oh, but you don't understand. 12 years ago, I blew my knee out and that's why I'm overweight. Really? So I don't see a mouth on your knee and I don't see somebody spoon feeding. Like, really? And that becomes their story. That becomes their legacy. Oh, I could have written a book if only I hadn't twisted my back when I was in third grade. Really? Or, oh, I could be so much more successful if only I didn't have the kids, or only I had kids, or only I had a different husband, or only we lived in a different state, or only I spoke a different language. That they take a current situation or even a past situation and they make it the single subject of their entire life. Everything around them becomes this past hardship, this past problem, this cultural identity, this gender identity, this race, this whatever it is, it becomes everything is built around it. And so you'll say, oh, I heard that you getting a promotion. Yeah, but I probably won't get any further because I'm a woman of color. Really? Really? So everything in your life centers on this story, centers on this problem, centers on this negative thought that you allowed to occupy every single thing in your head. If only the medical insurance company didn't kick me off. And I do understand your personal situation, but also, you know what? I don't know the facts. I'd have to go back and do fact check, but in general terms, the writer of Harry Potter was semi-homeless, if not homeless. She worked in coffee shops, back of scrap paper, was rejected like 20 or 30 times for the Harry Potter novels before it finally got picked up. J.K. Rowling's now is a multi-billion, trillion, quadrillionaire, whatever. I don't know. She's pretty much set in her generations for life. If she had said, well, I don't have Wi-Fi, so I can't do research. Really? We have an option. And so I had sort of written some ideas like, when I place a false idol or a problem or a situation or circumstance in front of me, it causes me to disobey my dream, my passion, my purpose, my inner calling, the voice that I've been excited into. I turn that off and I turn the problem on instead. It gives me joy to talk about my problem. Now, I know that sounds really crazy, but there are actually, truly, honestly people that find great joy in talking about their hardship, their disappointment, their negativeness, their story of woe, their victimness. They wait for an opportunity. I have been in rooms with people like this. I'll say, oh, it's raining today. And then all of a sudden you'll hear, I remember the day it was raining when I fell down and broke my back. And it's like, oh my gosh, how did we get over there again? Or, yeah, I'm feeling kind of gloom today. Yeah, well, if you were me, you would too, because blah, blah. And it's like, oh my gosh, it brings you such joy to talk about your hardship, your headaches, your agony, your defeat. Another, you put it before other people. When you develop these false idols, these problem idols, these negative objects in our life that we begin to worship, we put them before other people. And personal story, I know somebody that kid was in college, they were struggling financially in school like every student does, wrote home, asked for help. Dad was like, well, I really can't help you. I threw my back out. It was like, really? You couldn't have called 5 friends. You couldn't have started a GoFundMe account. You couldn't have collected pop cans on the side of the road. You couldn't have sold a watch or traded in a baseball card or something to give your kid a little morsel of hope and encouragement. Instead, your problem became first before other people. And it doesn't make you better, is the other thing I put. When we talk about our problem, it doesn't make us better. We don't come to people with a problem and say, here's my current situation. I'm looking for a solution, an opportunity, a growth point. Instead, we just stay stuck in this problem and it becomes the only thing we worship. It's the only thing we talk about. It's the only thing we want to be known for. We make this problem, this situation, this cultural thing that has given us an excuse to play little, play small, play inside our little box and not have to do anything different or extraordinary, everything about us. And that's what an idol becomes, the thing that occupies the center of your heart, the center of your being, the center of your focus, that you can't dodge, look around, because you have made it so big and so large and so prominent in your life that you can't get out and around it. And we hear this so often as coaches sometimes, where somebody will start a coaching session with this grocery list of why it can't happen, why it will never be, why they'll never be allowed to have the dream of their life, because they have made this problem idol so big, so large, so mammoth that they can't see a way around it. Now, if you're a person of faith, and Pat's here, and you all need to just send Pat love. She's a fountain of wisdom. Lord, I just love to hang out with her all day long and see what drips off her. If you're a person of faith and you have declared your faith, your divineness, and you come to your God with all of your problems, you're still kind of in violation. Just telling you, you're kind of in violation. Because when he says before me, it doesn't mean in front of me, I have to be first. That would be an egotistical, selfish God. What it means is don't bring them before me. Like, don't show porn to your children. Don't put it before them. Don't bring all of your problems before me. Instead, come to me and I will see them and I will know them and I will solve them for you. So often we go into these prayer closets, and I know I just slid into faith, and we're like, oh God, help me with this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. Thank you, amen, in your name. It's like, really? Like, really, that's the only thing I am, is problem solving? I feel like Amazon God, that I just fill your orders and then move on to the next one. When we let our problems dominate our language, dominate our heart, dominate our head, dominate our lives, we can't see all of the opportunities, all of the blessings, all of the abundance that are waiting on the other side for us to take hold of, to grow into our dreams. So what I want to encourage and challenge you to do, honestly, is when you hear that problem, that word, that thought start to like bubble up, like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. My back is... Ain't no idols up in this house. Ain't making my problems my idol. Shut it down. Cancel it out. Say, you know what? I'm going to see how I can make that work. If you constantly look for a reason not to step into your greatness and you put problems in front of it, you will never have the greatness you seek, because you are worshiping the problem. Everything that you have, you are devoting to the problem, to the obstacle, to the nots, to the can'ts, to the won't be's, because they're not going to, never, ever going to be able to happen. You trade in all of your energy to support the problem instead of trade it in to support your dream and your faith in your divineness. If my focus is on my problems, on my history, on my story, on my past, I have nothing left to give to my future. If everything that I say and think and talk about is what happened yesterday, how am I ever going to see tomorrow and step into it? So yes, I do admit, I do know that we all have challenges. We all have obstacles. We all have things that we're fighting and pushing and banging our way through. But if we make that the center of everything that we do, everything that we talk about, everything that we see, everything that we Google, everything that, like all of it, we leave nothing for our dreams, for our hope, for our desire, for our purpose, for our calling, for our faith. If I'm focused on my bad back, how am I going to celebrate the joy of my children? If I'm focused on the empty gas tank, how am I going to celebrate the client that called and told me they had a breakthrough? If I'm focused on anything and everything negative, how am I ever going to be able to have the energy to shift my attention to all that is happening and all that can happen and all the opportunities around me? So are you making your problems, your history, your whatever it is? I mean, I have a long list. I over here. Tomorrow maybe I'll share it with the list that we all use to stop us from growing. But you got to end it. End it. Yeah, you got a bad back. Yeah, the gas tank's not as full. Yeah, the car isn't as fancy as you want it to be, or the bank account isn't as big as it is, or your spouse isn't as supportive as you'd like them to be. Your kids are too young for you to leave them alone. You know what? Stop focusing on the problem. Stop making them your idols. What if you said, I'm a phenomenal writer, and I can write 2 pages a day while my kids are in the bathtub. And so if I want a 200-page book and I write 2 pages a day, okay, it's going to take me 100 days to do it. You can still have a book at the end of a year. But instead you're saying, oh, I can't do that because my kids take up too much of my time. Oh, I can't do that because I got to be a working mom. Oh, I can't do that because my spouse doesn't support me. Maybe your spouse, partner, family isn't supporting you because you're not supporting your dreams. Until you invest and take courage and take action in yourself, do not expect everybody else to be your cheerleader. You know, the team has got to come on the field for the cheerleaders to cheer about something. And they got to stay past the halfway point for them to get excited about the win. So stop letting your problems become your idols. Stop making them your conversation. And when you hear, just since I'm on kind of a little bit of preaching method here, when you hear yourself asking, solve this problem, solve that problem, take this out of my way, instead say, you know what? This is here now for a purpose and a reason. I need to slow down, reflect, and review why this is in my life, how this has gotten in my life, and what I can do with the situation that's currently at hand that will make me bigger, better, stronger, and more able and more equipped for the next challenge that I face. Quit trying to pray away our problems and simply say, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. I am here because I am strong enough to solve this and move beyond it. Now teach me, show me, guide me on how to do that. All right? Don't get stuck in your problems. Don't worship your problems. Don't burn your bridges and give all your money and your energy and your resources and your purpose and your passion away to a problem. Don't. Stop doing it, people. And if you find yourself talking into that language of, oh, I wish I could only, and see, Jaban's in the house. If only this was different and only that was different, and if only this had changed and only that hadn't happened, then I would be here. Start now. Dismiss it. Cancel it. Talk it out. Say, overdone with not talking about that anymore in my life. That was yesterday. Tore the page out of the book. Tossed it in the trash. Yeah, so what? I am now at a place that I can begin to grow for what I want. Pray for help to find the solution. Focus on the lesson and the learn. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Marie. So I'm jumping to faith. So if you're not a faith person or you're scared about faith or the whole faith conversation makes you uncomfortable, because trust me, that was me a long time ago. One of the things that I've had to discover and start learning about myself is that I want the shortcut. And I often go to God for the shortcut. I'll be like, oh, God, just solve this problem for me. Blah, 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 blah. And then I say, thank you, amen. What I realize is that 9 times out of 10, God didn't get me in the mess that I'm praying him to get me out of. And I just want him to solve the problem that I created. And then when I look around and I realize my kids do the same thing to me, I understand him better. I'm like, oh, I'm the fool who got me here. You're the father that's going to guide me out, not take me out. Okay. So God, show me how I got here. Show me what I did. Show me where I made my mistakes. Show me my errors. Show me the lesson I didn't learn. Whatever it is. Okay, now that I have awareness, just like with my kids, once my kids wake up and get a clue, I'm more than willing to help them get out. Solve the problem, show them the solution, take them to where they can be safe and secure and move forward again. But if my kid just simply comes in and says, will you do this for me? I look at them like, really? Is that all I am? Is that all I am? Your problem solver. You know what? I got to understand that it was me that got me here, not somebody else. And it's me that God wants to get out of here. But he doesn't want me getting back here again. So yeah, the road's going to be slow. The road's going to be long. The road's going to be twisted. I've got to do some homework. I got to do some research. I got to do some deep digging in. I got to be willing to work it out. I mean, if you're a Christian and you have a Bible, you will see that more often than not, he called us out of the boat. He didn't just lift up the boat and put it back on shore where we're safe from the storm and say, okay, solve the problem. Storm's over. Boat's on shore. Everybody have a good day. Call me next time you need me. No, he said, jump out of the boat. Start walking. Come on, come on, come on. Walk over here. Walk over here. Cool. Quiet the storm down a little so you feel confident and strong and safe. Roll back the stone, people. Roll back the stone. I'll do what I do. You do what you can do. So, you're hilarious. Loved it. So, yeah, God and I have a really weird relationship. I think we're more like fraternity brothers sometimes the way we're a kid. But what I've realized is that when I make my problems the center of every conversation, every prayer, every thought, every action, I get nowhere because my problem occupies everything of me. When I simply acknowledge the problem, the situation, the current status quo, and I say, good enough, okay, I'm aware of it. I'm going to work with what I got here, but I'm still going to focus on this and what I can do and where I'm supposed to go and what my purpose and what my divine calling is, I make a lot more progress. When I stop looking at yesterday and trying to figure out what went wrong and start looking at today and what can go right, I start to make a lot more progress in my dream. When I stop blaming other people and outside situations that I can't really change, and start taking control and responsibility of my life, that's when I go someplace. When I say, wait a minute, if I want it, then I have to be the first to seek it out. I have to look for the opportunity first, not count on everybody and everything and inside and outside to make it happen for me. Good morning, most blessed and beloved. I understand that in the past, I have allowed my problems to be all I focused on, instead of the resources and solutions and abilities and opportunities that I have. So when I talk about idols, and I know some of you jumped in late, we're not talking golden calves or bronze statues in the middle of the square or people on ABC that sing really well. We're talking about taking our problems and elevating them above everything else so that we can't see past them, that we can't keep our vision set on who and what we're supposed to do because we've allowed our problems, our current situations, our history to become all that we focus on. I know. I went completely off my notes. So here's a note that I had made to myself. When I'm worried that something is becoming my idol or my go-to place, what do you do, or where do you go, or what do you hear yourself saying when you're most afraid? So when you're faced with a new challenge, do you hear yourself saying, oh man, I'd love to do that, but, and whatever comes after that but is probably one of your idols. Yeah, I think I covered all the other notes. I did pretty good today, you guys. See, I do take notes. The longer written version is in a bigger book. Have no idea how I stumbled on your live today. Holy Spirit is yelling at me. Uh-oh, Christina. Now you're going to get me up in preaching mode. My friend Carl, who is from Africa, will laugh because of that. But truthfully, honestly, afraid. Good question. So the question, and I'll repeat it again for you, is where do you go when you're afraid? And so we all do this. This is going to be a long Facebook Live. I apologize, y'all. When we are faced with an opportunity, when we see just above where we're at and where we could go, and we begin to get afraid and doubt and insecure and we're worried, that's often when we'll pull one of these problems from our past out and we'll stick it right up in front of us as a roadblock. Oh, I so wish I could do that, but my husband would never. Oh, I so wish I could do that, but I got to worry about the kids. Oh, I so wish I could do that, but in the past I've always failed because people of color, people of race, people of gender never succeed in that area. Oh, I wish I could do that, but I'm a poor speller. I'm writing a book. I have the worst spelling in the world. I'm just going to tell you. Well, you know what? Spell check, Grammarly, and then hire an assistant when it's finished to go through and check it and proof it. But when we're afraid, the go-to place is either our faith and our belief and our dreams and our desires and our purpose and our passion, or the idol problem that we're carrying around that we use as our safety net. So if somebody says, hey, I've got this speaking gig, and you're like, wow, I'm excited. I get to be a speaker. I've got all these speeches in my pocket and in my desk. Where should I go? What should I do? How should I pull them out? Blah, 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 blah. Then you're chasing your passion, your purpose, and you're going in the direction you're designed to go. But instead of somebody says, hey, I got a speaking engagement, and you're like, well, I don't know. My bank account's kind of low. It might cost me bus fare, car fare, gas money. Or, well, I've got to get permission from my husband because, he's really not behind me on the speaking. Problem idol, problem idol, problem idol. You'll never get where you want to go if you keep using your problems as your idol. All right, people? Dr. Holly Kelly in the house. Y'all go over and say, nice new hair. Dr. Kelly got a whole new hairstyle. She must be going someplace fancy. All right, well, I really appreciate you guys. But what I will say is understand that we cannot make our problems our idols anymore. We cannot let them stand in front of who we are, and what we want to accomplish. We have got to quit bringing our best and highest self to those things. Instead, turn your attention to your dreams, your purpose, your passion, your faith, your divineness, and say, you know what? Goodbye, problems. I'm going over here. I'm going to give everything that I got to this, because worshiping my problems hasn't solved anything. Worshiping my problems hasn't gotten me to where I want to be. So I'm just going to go ahead and, if I've only got 5 ounces of energy, I'm dumping it on this, because at least I'll be living in what I want to be. Problem Miles, gone today. Thanks, Mr. A. You're a messin' this morning, but the message is good. I know. Dr. Kelly, some days I just go rogue. I don't know. I watch you and I get all fired up and I think I got to preach it, and then you step in and I feel like, I'm not living up to the standard, but I'm going to keep chasing it. I'm going to keep chasing you, Dr. Holly Kelly. And Ira, of course. Well, I appreciate you guys so much. Went a little bit long. Don't worry, I've already written this out and I'm blogging it out, and it'll either be today or tomorrow's blog that goes up at ericgreid.com. And if I can help you, just reach out and connect. I had a call. Good morning, Mr. Ronald. You're going to have to go all the way to the back and watch it from the top. But somebody actually is calling me preaching and pastoring. Ron Wagshine, who you guys see in the feed now, would have to laugh at that. And I'm sure he is, but he was a seed planter many years ago. So I appreciate you guys so much for jumping in this morning, sharing with me, and really just check this thing. Ask yourself, where do I go when I'm afraid? Am I making my problems my idols? Am I giving up my best to my problem instead of to my dreams and my purpose and my divineness? All right? Appreciate you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Until then, go out and live life with success. You are so worthy of it. All right? Have a good day. Bye.